Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss Earthquake, which was written by M.S. Mahadevan. Before that, in our last class, we discussed Old Man River. It's a drama that shows how the members of a family manage to escape when their house is surrounded by the floodwaters. In this prose, Amy and Betty, then Miss Mars, Mr. Peters, then Shara, Rose, Jim, the characters are in their home. Their parents are away from them and it keeps raining for 3 days. There is a cloud burst and the melting of the snow causes the river level to rise. It is late afternoon. Jim Hall, a 17-year-old neighbor, comes to the rescue of the children, and then he organizes a disaster rescue team and keeps things ready for an emergency. Tom Peters and Miss Moss came there in a rescue boat. Then with their help, the children, they are rescued from that flood. So this is the drama we discussed in my last week class. Okay, now Earthquake, supplement reader, which was written by M.S. Mahadevan. Picture 1. Rickety. It's an adjective, structure or piece of equipment poorly made and likely to collapse. Tremor, it means a noun. Okay, it means a slight earthquake. Devastation, noun, the state of being decayed or destroyed. Then haphazardly, adverb, in a random manner. Debris, noun, scattered pieces or rubbish or remains. Second picture, white shrouded, verb, wrap or dress a body in a shroud or burial. Then pairs, noun, a heap of burnable material for burning a corpse as part of a funeral ceremony. Next picture, the story started. Greetings, traveler. You look tired and cold. Are you a stranger to these parts, waiting for the bus to Badrinath? Perhaps you are a pilgrim or a visitor to the Valley of Flowers. Anyway, whoever you are, come with me. Wait at my tea shop. It is just past the bend in the road. So one man welcomed the travelers and he asking them to wait at his stop, his tea stop, and have some tea. Okay, like that he asked. Next picture. As you can see, I am carrying this can of milk to the shop. In 10 minutes, I will have a fire going. While you warm yourself, I will prepare for you the best cup of tea in all Garhwal. It will chase away the pinched blue look from your face. Here we are. Welcome to my humble roadside tea shop. Make yourself comfortable on this wooden bench. It looks rickety, but it will hold your weight. And then that man said they have to wait in his tea shop, and within 10 minutes he will prepare the tea. After they drink the tea, they will feel happy. So like that he is telling it is very best tea shop in that all Garhwal. Okay, Garhwal is a place. It is in the roadside. Like that he is telling. Next picture. My name, sir. I am called Bridge. His name is Bridge. I am 17 years old. I started this tea shop 2 years ago. So he started the tea shop 2 years ago and his name Bridge. Like that he explained about himself. Before that, I worked in a roadside shop outside Panipat. So before that he was worked in the Panipat one tea shop. The heat, the crowd, the pollution, it was all too much. I had saved most of my earnings. I came back and with a little help I started this shop. By the grace of God, it provides me a decent enough livelihood. So before that, he was worked in another tea shop, and he saved earnings, and then he opened this little tea shop. Now his life is going smoothly. Next picture. Here, your tea is ready, strong, sweet, flavored with cardamom. Enjoy it, sir, while I get on with my course. This is my daily routine. At sunset, I will shut my shop and walk back the 3 miles to my dwelling on the hillside. The name of my village, it was my village, the village of my ancestors. It is no more. Malti is gone. What happened to my village? So after he introduced himself, then he prepared the tree and he gave to them. Then explained about his daily routines. After over the tea shop, he went to his village. His village name is Malti, but it is not now because it was destroyed. Then again he explained about his village, what happened to his village. Next picture. It was 4 years ago in the month of October. One night the earth quaked. Yes, tremors are common in these parts. These snows may seem eternal. The Himalayas may look solid, but the truth is, deep down they are unstable. We who live here are accustomed to tremors. But what happened that night was more than that. It was a terrible earthquake. Its effects were felt as far away as Delhi and Lucknow. So one night, it was 4 years ago in the month of October, earthquake. Okay, so their village was earthquaked, and part of the villages, and it is up to Delhi and Lucknow. Okay, so earthquake was there. This is the picture. The next one is picture. You see, Delhi to Lucknow, the earth was quaked. Okay, actually 680 kilometers, and Delhi 540 kilometers. Totally it was quaked. Earth was quaked. Next picture. Can you imagine the devastation at the heart of the earthquake? Devastation means the state of being decayed or destroyed. So like that he explaining. The epicenter was in a valley not far from here. There was 670 villages in the valley. 602 were destroyed. Okay, so he explained totally 670 villages in there, and 602 were destroyed by that earthquake. The earthquake lasted less than 5 minutes. So totally more than 5 minutes, okay, it was quaked. Time enough to set these centuries old mountains crashing, to reduce our village to rubble, to snap out hundreds of lives. Totally many of them were destroyed. Next picture. For the living, the nightmare began at daybreak when the news trickled in of the large scale devastation. There were dozens of landslides, huge boulders thrown haphazardly across motorable tracks and roads. Precious time was spent in blasting the rocks and clearing the way for army rescue teams. It was all of 4 days before help arrived in for Malti. So after the earthquake, the army soldiers came in that place, and 4 days they helped for the Malti village. Next picture. I was among the first to reach the village. My uncle accompanied me. We feared the worst, but nothing had prepared us for what we saw. Every single house, every wall, every roof had been flattened. Stone, rubble and dust were all that remained. Our house was a 2-storied stone building with the slate roof. My great grandfather had built the house. We were small family. My father had died after an illness just 14 months ago. Okay, after the earthquake, he was among them to reach the village first one. Okay, he only first visited that village. Actually, he went with his uncle. Then he saw every villages. Okay, so he saw every buildings and every houses on that village. It was totally destroyed. Then he explained his house. It was built by his grandfather, and his father died after an illness 14 months ago. Next picture. My mother took care of us. We were 3 children. I was the oldest. My brother Neelu was 10. Buli, my 2-year-old sister, was the baby of the family. My grandmother lived with us. When the soldiers began to clear the debris, my uncle led me away. I was in a complete daze, too numb to feel anything. The soldiers had set up a makeshift camp. Someone gave me tea and biscuits. I don't know how long I was there. Now he said about his family. His mother took care of them, and in his family 3 children are there. He was the oldest, and his brother Neelu was 10 years old, and Buli, a 2 years old sister, was the family of their family, and his grandmother lived with them. Okay, after the soldiers came, they cleared the debris. His uncle led him away, and it was in complete dash. Then someone gave him a tea, biscuits, but he don't know how long he was spent in there. Next picture. Suddenly it was evening, and uncle was standing beside me. They have taken the bodies to the river bank. He said gently, "Come, you must perform the last rites before sunset. Tomorrow we will go back to Pari." He waited there and looked everything. The bodies were moving to the river bank, and someone said, "Come, you must perform the last rite." Last rite means rituals. He has to do that. Then the next day they will go back to Pari village. I had last seen my family while leaving for Pari. They stood at the doorway and waved. My grandma, mom, Neelu and Buli. That is the way I will always remember them, smiling and waving at me, not as the white-shrouded, lifeless big figures I saw. So the next day they are moving to Pari. Before he leaves that place, he imagined his brother Neelu and sister Buli, his grandmother and his mother waving their hands. So like that he imagined, but they are not now. Next picture. Okay, the soldiers found everyone except Buli. Buli, she was not there. They have not found her. My uncle said, "The wild animals, Bridge, don't look like that. She's dead. But we must find her," I shouted. "Bridge, I get a grip on yourself," uncle pleaded, but I was beyond reasoning. I ran back to the village, to the spot where my house had stood. The soldiers found every bodies, but Buli was not there. His uncle said, "Maybe she was dead," but I didn't believe that. And again I reached Malti village, and I stand there. Behind me, one voice I heard, okay, get grip on yourself. Next picture. There was still so much debris. I scrambled around sifting the earth and stones. How long I was on my knees searching. crying, searching. So he was crying and searching his sister bully. Boy, it is no use, a voice said. He heard one voice. Boy, it is no use. I looked up. The speaker was the army officer who had supervised the relief operation. There is no one alive in there, he said. Whom are you looking for? The voice, okay, he looked up the voice. The voice from the army officer who is the supervisor of the operation. Whom are you looking for? Like that he asked. Next picture. My sister, sir. I said, fighting to control my tears. All I want is to give her a proper cremation. I stopped, conscious that I was babbling. Babbling means speaking unintelligibly. I could see that he was bone tired. He looked as if he had not slept for days. His uniform was covered with dust. His face was grimy. But through all the dust and grime, I saw that his eyes were kind. He explained about that army officer, what his uniform and what he was looking like. And finally he said that, but okay, all after that he was looking kind man. That's only he understood. Next picture. My men have been on their feet for days, he said softly, as if talking to himself. They have done all they could hear. Tomorrow at daybreak we go to another village just like this, then another. He looked away at the sun setting behind the peaks. Down in the valley the fires burnt row upon row. The officer muttered something, shook his head and turned away. A terrible despair engulfed me. I lay there among the ruins of my house and cried. The army officer said they are removing the debris, and they worked totally 3 days without the rest. And the officer muttered something, shook his head and turned away. A terrible despair engulfed him. But he cried and he wants to look up for bully. Next picture. 10 minutes later the officer was back. With him were 3 soldiers armed with spades and crowbars. Without a word the men began removing the debris. They labored doggedly. When it was completely dark, someone brought a few lit Petromax lamps. 2 hours later, a soldier called outside. You see in the middle picture, it's called spades and crowbars. And after the 10 minutes, the officers were back and they completely searched and removed the debris. Finally, one soldier called out, sir, like that he is telling. Next picture. He stood in the middle of a small hollow. The wall had caved in at the spot. I recognized a part of a door. Beneath it, a small foot. Feverishly, the soldiers began to clear the hollow. Then they lifted the door. So one by one, they are working and remove the debris. Debris means scattered pieces of rubbish or remains. So remaining they are working there, and they lifted the door. Next picture. She is alive, someone said. It was a miracle. She had been buried under the debris for 116 hours. 116 hours she was alive. She had survived the earthquake, the cold nights and the wild animals. Okay, the wild animals also not attacking her, and cold nights, a ragged chair went up and the soldier wrapped her in a warm blanket and carried her to the tent where was a makeshift hospital had been set up. So after they found her, they were moving her to that hospital camp. Next picture, bully lived. The next day I went to thank army officer, but he was gone. I did not even know his name. She started going to school. Okay, soon after I got a job at a dhaba near Panipat. Bully stayed back. She started going to school. It waited on me that I never thanked that army officer. I hoped that one day I would run into him again. Now he explained bully was lived and he wants to thank the army officer, but he was not there because also he don't know his he doesn't know his name, and he worked in Panipat hotel, and his sister bully went to school. She is going to school, but he wants to thank the army officer. He hoped that one day he will see him again. Next picture. Every time I saw an army man, I would hope it was him. For months I would search for his face in every crowd, and one day I did find him. So finally, he wants to thank that army officer because of searching bully, and she was alive now. Then I would search for his face in every crowd. In that every crowd, okay, he is looking for him. And one day he found out him. It was late on a winter's night. A truck stopped at the stop. A man got out. He looked familiar. When he stepped into the light, I saw that it was not him, just someone who bore a strong resemblance. The man was tired. He asked for a cup of tea. As I served him, sir, I felt this strange lightness, this sense of joy. He thought that he found out that army soldier, but he didn't find him because he was not that army officer. But he asked a cup of tea to him. After he served him, he felt that very happy because next picture. When the man offered to pay, I did not take the money. The next day, it happened again. Every day, I would see someone, a complete stranger, a tired traveler, who reminded me of that officer. It was as if he was everywhere, and every time I served him tea, I felt such sheer joy. A month later, I quit my job at the tea shop and returned to those mountains. The shop owner was quite relieved. He had no use for a waiter who kept forgetting to present the bill to the customer. Now I am on my own and I am at peace. Okay, after he worked a long time, he relieved his job, and again he went to his own village and he opened a new shop there by his earnings. Now he is peacefully and comfortably living there. Next picture. Here is your bus, sir. No money. You were tired. All offered you was a cup of tea. Maybe it was the best tea in all Garhwal. Maybe not. But I am happy I good to you. This small service. Wish you a safe journey, sir. May God be with you. So after he explained about everything about himself, he didn't get money from that army soldier, and he wished him, may God be with him. Like that, he wished him. Okay. Students, through this supplement reader, we understood we have to respect these army soldiers and also traffic police officers. Many police officers are like that. They are leaving their family and work for day and night for us. So we have to respect the officers like this. So like that only we understood from this supplement reader. Okay, Earthquake, it was written by M.S. Mahadevan. So students, we must help the poor like this. Okay, his name is Bridge and the man is living his life peacefully in there. Thank you.